Good day everybody, and welcome back to the Taranaki Health Journeys. So today I wanted to talk about something that I was made aware about this week, and that is that there's been a significant rise in the use of cocaine and meth within our region. Firstly, Taranaki is known for its rugged coastline, its mountains, its tight-knit communities, but beneath the surface of the region, something serious is happening. Cocaine and methamphetamine use is rising, and the impacts are being felt in homes, workplaces, and communities across the region. So how is this happening? Over the past few years, police, health services and community organisations have reported a noticeable increase in both cocaine and meth use in Taranaki. Cocaine, once considered a big city drug, is now appearing more frequently at social events and among young professionals. Meth, already a long-standing issue in many parts of New Zealand, continues to spread, with more people seeking help for addiction and more families affected. This isn't just a statistic, it's a shift in the social fabric of the region. So why is use increasing? There is no single cause, but several factors are driving the rise. Increased supply. Organised crime groups are targeting smaller regions like Taranaki where demand is growing and enforcement resources are stretched. Social acceptance. Cocaine in particular has gained a reputation as a party drug among some groups, creating a false sense of safety. 3. Economic pressures. Cost of living stress, job insecurity, and housing pressures can push people towards substances as a coping mechanism. Lastly, 4. Isolation. Rural communities often face limited access to mental health support, making people more vulnerable to harmful drug use. The real costs. The socio-economic cost of cocaine and meth use in Taranaki is massive and growing. So here's the economic costs and what they are. Firstly, there's lost productivity in workplaces, increased healthcare spending, higher policing and justice system costs, and strain on social services. Businesses report more absenteeism, more workplace accidents, and more difficulty finding reliable staff. Impact on families. So here's just some little tidbits for how these impact our families. Firstly, there's financial hardship, relationship breakdowns, neglect and family violence, children entering care. Meth in particular is linked to severe addiction, which can tear families apart. And what are the health harms? So addiction and dependency, mental health deterioration, increased risk of heart issues, stroke and long-term cognitive damage, and higher rates of emergency admissions. Community safety costs would include more burglaries and thefts, increased gang activity, and greater pressure on policing and emergency services. This isn't just a personal issue, it's a community-wide challenge. At this point, I just want to state that these words here that follow are not my own, okay? So, for a real story, local support workers describe seeing more young people experimenting with cocaine, and more long-term meth users reaching crisis point. Families talk about losing loved ones to addiction. Employers say they're struggling to keep their businesses running. These stories are heartbreaking, but they are also a call to action. So, what can be done? Well, Taranaki isn't powerless. There are real solutions. 1. Better access to mental health and addiction services. Why? Because early intervention saves lives and reduces long-term harm. 2. Community education. Reducing stigma encourages people to seek help sooner. 3. Stronger prevention programs for youth. Schools, sports clubs, and community groups can play a huge role. 4. Support for families. Addiction affects everyone in the household, not just the user. 5. Targeting organised crime. Reducing supply is essential, but it must go hand in hand with support. In closing, Taranaki is a region built on resilience. The rise in cocaine and meth use is a serious challenge, but it's one we can face together. By understanding the problem, supporting those affected, and strengthening our communities, we can protect the future of this region we all love. If you found this video helpful, share it. Start the conversation. Awareness is the first step towards change. Just for a little bit of context, the New Zealand Drug Foundation, the TDDA and the NZBTS indicate that cocaine use in New Zealand surged sharply in 2025, with detections up 148% nationally in workplace testing and rising above several other substances in significant regions. Weekly use and availability are increasing, particularly in urban centres and higher income groups. According to the Drug Detection Agency report for the last quarter of 2025, amphetamine-type substances use, including methamphetamine, increased in many regions, but in Taranaki specifically, amphetamine-type substance detections were noted to have eased, and cocaine was not listed as a main region of concern. Historically, cocaine use in Taranaki has been lower than in Auckland, Wellington, Bay of Plenty, Waikato and Northland. Estimated prevalence remains substantially smaller than methamphetamine or cannabis use. Drivers of the increase. The national rise is linked to reduced prices, increased supply, including from international trafficking networks, and higher consumption rates among current users rather than a vast influx of new users. The same dynamics could influence Taranaki, but to a possibly smaller extent due to regional market size. It has been projected for this year, 2026, that given the national upward trend in cocaine use, coupled with Taranaki's previously lower baseline, there is potentially a moderate increase expected. Likely growth in occasional and recreational use, especially among younger adults and higher income individuals, but not reaching the rates seen in Auckland or the Bay of Plenty shortly. Quarterly growth rate assumptions are that if the national year-on-year increase is tempered regionally to a smaller factor, like say 20 to 50%, in Taranaki due to a smaller market, and existing low prevalence, we might expect continued measurable increases through 2026. Influences of interventions. Government and public health initiatives, early intervention, treatment programs, and workplace testing could moderate growth slightly. But without significant policy change or local awareness campaigns, an uptick is likely. So a summary assessment for Taranaki for this year is that cocaine is expected to increase from its 2025 baseline, likely in the range of 20 to 50% rise, predominantly among recreational and occasional users. Overall prevalence in Taranaki will remain lower than national hotspots, but the upward trend mirrors the national trajectory of recreational and high-income users tapping into expanding supply. Continued affordability, diversion from neighbouring urban markets, and younger adult experimentation could accelerate uptake if left unchecked. So in conclusion, in Taranaki, cocaine use is projected to rise steadily in 2026, consistent with national trends, though the absolute prevalence remains modest. Public health and workplace interventions could influence the rate, but without aggressive local prevention strategies, the increase is likely to continue. So I thought I'd give you guys a bit of a short video for this week. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this video and the messaging behind it, please hit like, subscribe and share it among your friends. There are places you can go if you do have friends in whānau that are addicted to both of these substances or any harmful substance. You have the District Health Board's Alcohol and Drug Program, the Salvation Army in New Plymouth especially do some amazing work with their bridge program, and heck, there's probably a few others. I know even Tuiora have some people who are helping in that space too. If you want to really combat the problem, another way is, if you know of this stuff going on, please call 111 immediately. Some of us don't want to be labelled as narcs, but hey, if it's causing harm to you or your whānau, then maybe we need to bite the bullet and just make that call, eh? Thank you again for watching. If you'd like to be part of these videos, please shoot me an email at taranakihsp@gmail.com. And this is Anthony Dunn for Taranaki Health Journeys. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great weekend, and please take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Ka kite anō.